Speaking of fight talk, man.
Dude, we got some. By the way, I was thinking about this too. We got some great fights coming up. Not just the one that just passed. We'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
But you got Masvidal, Gilbert Burns. You got David Benavidez, Caleb Plant boxing on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you got Gervonta Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia coming up soon too. And Devin Haney is going to be fighting Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez is going to be fighting Josh Taylor.
Damn, where have all these dudes been? Are you kidding me?
Murderers.
Dude, I really hope boxing's making a comeback.
I can't wait. That's By the way, shout out to Teofimo Lopez because he's the front runner. He's the one that made that shit happen, man.
Yeah.
He took Vasily Lomachenko on all the hard fights coming up, and they said he wasn't ready. Beat all these guys. He paved the way to show people like just stop being a pussy. He fights for legacy. He's not all about this business horse shit.
This dude showed me highlights of him, and I fell in love. What a knockout
What a talent!
artist.
What a talent,
dude! Oh my god!
And he's
like
had
Da
some
Vinci
missteps.
of just
unbelievable.
Checking chins.
It's
dude.
unbelievable.
Good night.
Power in both hands. I haven't seen such natural and raw talent like that since Roy Jones Jr. No bullshit. But he has a problem because he's got a lot of problems with his family, so he's in his head a lot. So he lost recently a fight that he shouldn't have lost, but he was also very, very sick in that fight. He had like a hole in his heart or some shit when he fought that fight against George Kambosos, the second fight. Or no, the first fight.
But is that heart condition going to be an issue for going forward?
I doubt it. No, like I think he's fully healed from that. But also he moved up weight classes and he didn't look like the world beater he looked like. Even though he won, we're so used to seeing him just dominate outright that even when he has a remotely tough fight, we think that maybe he's lost it. But what I think is this. I think that Teofimo Lopez, because there's different types of fighters.
But he did win, right?
Yeah, he won.
Okay.
But he's one of these guys where he fights up to the level of competition he's facing. Like, if he's in there with someone that doesn't challenge him, I think he gets bored and complacent and kind of just like walks him down and just does like a one-dimensional fighting style. Like, he thinks he could just blow through him. And Tyson Fury was like that a lot too, actually.
Yeah.
So if you put him in there with a world beater, he becomes a world-beating world beater.
Yeah.
Like, so I think he's one of those guys. And if he beats Josh Taylor, we'll know, because Josh Taylor is a remarkable champion. So, and the guys that he fought that he kind of struggled with before were not nearly as good as Josh Taylor. But that same thing happened in the past. Sorry, I'm getting on a boxing tangent here.
Please.
So Teofimo Lopez was on a tear. When I show you that highlight reel, that's just he was just knocking fools the fuck out in beautiful fashion too. Not lucky. He picks his shots. You can see him looking and setting him up. He's great with the traps and everything like that. He's very, very selective. Excellent placement on his punches. Just a great mind for boxing in general. But then he fought a guy named Nakatani, this tall Asian dude, and he didn't look great in that fight. And that guy is not like, he was undefeated at the time, Nakatani, but he wasn't a talent like a Teofimo.
Yeah.
He was expected to get his ass whooped by Teofimo, and it was a tough night for him. So everyone thought, oh, maybe he's just a hype train, this is that. But then he fought Comey, Richard Comey, and I showed you that highlight where he overhand rights him in like the second round.
Yes.
World-class champion, granite chin, known for his toughness, never been stopped, crazy power, a legit champion, and just ethers him, and then he goes on to beat Vasily Lomachenko next convincingly. So I think he might be one of those guys where he just gets complacent, man.
He was the first boxer that I ever seen. Like, have you ever seen a boxer training and he's hitting the heavy bag like this? Okay, you don't actually use that in a fight. It's
that was David Benavidez.
Oh, is that who you were showing me?
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
I showed you Teo also. You're talking about. You were right about talking about Teo.
Yeah.
But David Benavidez is the one with the machine gun punch where he does that to people in fights.
I've never seen anything like that. That is a training exercise to pick up speed and power, and you don't use it in a fight. Homeboy use it in a fight. It's almost like if Liu Kang went in the ring and did the bicycle kick, and you're just like, what? What just happened? It was nuts.
You do like, you'll see boxers do a shoe shine to the stomach where they do like the quick rapid punch to the stomach and then come up top.
Yeah.
But you never see someone do it to someone's face.
No, it doesn't make any sense.
And David Benavidez literally knocked a guy out doing that shit.
And not only that, doing it to somebody's face, but to a trained boxer, somebody who's lethal with their hands, that knows how to guard yourself at all times. You're literally getting in there, going like this and making a mockery.
Do you remember
out of
the guy's head was literally rolling back, back and forth?
His cheeks were flapping back, boom, boom, boom.
But,
so they were hurting too.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Unreal.
he absolutely, man.
Unreal.
Absolutely. And there's an accumulation of punishment that goes with that. But this fight on Saturday, Benavidez versus Plant, I'm a tremendous David Benavidez fan. I love the guy. He reminds me, everyone calls him the Mexican monster, but for those of you that know boxing history at all, he reminds me of a guy named Max Baer. And Max Baer was the protagonist in Cinderella Man.
Yeah. To, what's his name? James Braddock.
James Braddock, yes.
Yeah.
So Max Baer was known for just, he enjoyed getting hit. Like, he would walk guys down. He had crazy, devastating power. He would take fights not that seriously until it became serious for him. And Benavidez reminds me of that because you'll see him in there, just a big dude, similar style, walks you down, nice combination punching, crazy hand speed and shit like that. But he likes to fight. You'll see him get hit and he smiles and just keeps coming. Like, he reminds me so much of Max Baer.
Talk him out of it, May. He's going to get hurt.
Mexican Max Bear. That's what I call him. Everyone else calls him the Mexican Monster. But that fight's going to be great. And also, don't count Caleb Plant out. I have Benavidez winning that fight. Most people do. I mean, that's really where it should be.
Yeah.
But Caleb Plant is a monstrously talented fighter. And people underestimate him just because he got beat by Canelo. Number one, he got beat by Canelo. He got knocked out in the last round.
Who doesn't get beat by
But he
Canelo?
also, it was a 50-50 fight for most of that fight. He stayed in there with Canelo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he has great foot. He has great feet and great hand speed. He's got reasonable pop. He's not a knockout artist. He's not known for that, but he also doesn't sit down on his punches very often. So I bet you he hits harder than people even realize. Kind of like Floyd.
Yeah.
Like when Floyd wants to bang, he can, but he's on his toes. Whap, whap, zaps you and gets out of there.
Yeah.
But Caleb Plant's a real one, man. He could fight. His only loss is to Canelo Alvarez.
Speaking of Canelo, and I could see it broke his heart because this kid looks up to him. Everybody looks up to Canelo in boxing right now. But Canelo, he took Gervonta Davis to win, and Ryan Garcia. They asked about it, and you could see in his face. He's like, "Oh, you know what I mean." It's
they kind of had a bit of a falling out. Ryan Garcia and Canelo.
I'll take Garcia. I'm taking Garcia. I think that he's going to upset this. Dude, Gervonta Davis is a monster, but my
mind is telling me Gervonta, but I'm kind of feeling like I don't usually use feelings to call fights, but let's put it this way. That fight is a lot closer than people realize.
Yes.
And that's a 50-50
pick
this
fight. Kid out.
Now, will I give the edge to Gervonta? Slightly, because he has the better feet. And footwork matters a lot.
Yes.
A lot. Ryan likes to stand tall and he kind of likes to plod forward. He's kind of flat-footed in that way. He doesn't bounce. He's not like a lateral guy, if you will.
Yeah.
But that reach and that power and that speed and that accuracy, and he's way taller than Gervonta Davis, so he could pick him off from the outside, and he throws that left hook at like 700 miles an hour. It's absurd. So they're both in real danger, but also, and this is very telling, Gervonta Davis, he put a clause in the contract. This is how you know that he knows he's in danger.
Yeah.
Where he had to cut weight extra, like he had to come down extra pounds. I forgot exactly. It's like a catch weight, but he had to come down extra. But also they have a rehydration clause where he can't rehydrate up to a certain point. So he's literally, and also, I think I read something about he can't eat or drink for like 2 days leading up to the fight. So
Ryan Garcia?
Yeah, he's literally, and Ryan, this is how confident Ryan is, by the way. God bless you, Ryan Garcia, a dope motherfucker. He signed that contract because he was like, you know what? You're trying to make me not fight you, basically. And he was like, I want this fight. So he made every concession to get in there. Took less money. I'm sure that Gervonta picked the ring size. He probably picked the gloves they're fighting in. You know what I mean? He gave him that rehydration clause. He has to cut weight. And Ryan said yes to all of it, man. So hats off to you, Ryan Garcia. Good luck in there, buddy. I actually want to see Ryan pull it off. I love Gervonta too, but I want to see Ryan pull this one off.
I love that kid.
Just because of what he's going through.
Yeah. If he took 48 hours and he ate like a maniac, just steak, he could go in there a much bigger man.
Also, you get those IVs. You get a couple of banana bags going. You rehydrate up literally to the tune of like 20 pounds.
That's what Nate did with this Conor McGregor too. We were talking about him earlier.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, it's like Nate comes out. They're the same weight. Blah, throws it up. Nate's this skinny dude. A day later, that fool walks in there, and I remember at the very end of that fight, Conor McGregor's like, that man was not 170 pounds. He's like, you know what I mean? Like he was a monster in that, dude. That's why those lanky guys always got the advantage with that reach, man, because they fill up over.
I gotta say though, man. I'm tired of weight bullies.
Yeah,
that shit gets old. You
when
see it so much.
Yeah,
like dude, you're 6'4", you're fighting at 135. Like,
yeah, and it's boring.
It drives me nuts.
Yeah, and it's boring.
It's not only is it boring, but like, don't you understand that tarnishes your legacy? It's not a fair fight.
Yes,
you're taking an advantage. You have like a 6-inch reach advantage. Then you rehydrate up. You're like 20 pounds heavier than the guy that you're fighting on fight night. Dude, just fight in your weight class.
Yeah, imagine. And you're so funny. It's like you look at Mike Tyson.
Tiny heavyweight,
tiny little heavyweight going in there,
height wise, not
banging.
He's big everywhere, but
dude, even his first fight with what's his name, when he won the
Larry Holmes
with Larry Holmes
towered over him,
still like 2 feet
towered over him,
much bigger man, and Mike Tyson goes in there. Boom, peekaboo.
But here's the thing.
Is that why he used the peekaboo? Because they were so big?
Yes, and the bob and weave, literally custom model created that style.
Unreal.
Dude, it's crazy. And that whole style was designed to neutralize those tall guys and things like that. It's amazing.
Dude,
let me put it this way. You'll never see Lennox Lewis doing that and getting inside and dropping. Like, you're too big. You can't do it that way.
Yeah, he does the fundamentals.
He took that height or whatever and turned it into a weapon. He made it an asset.
Has anybody else ever mastered the peekaboo style or just Mike?
Not the way that Mike. Mike is the shining definition of it.
Yeah, because it just like nobody's gonna go out and fight just like Ali. I mean, there might be guys that go. Nobody's gonna throw a punch with your arm completely turned this way, knocking out heavyweights.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
insane,
also, that footwork is specific to Ali. Ali's style is cultivated mostly by Ali. You know what I mean? That's his style.
Variations. You
don't learn that in a boxing gym. Let's put it that way. There's no gym you can go to and go, hey, I want to fight like Muhammad Ali. You're not gonna learn that shit. Peekaboo is a style that others have used. Winky Wright. Winky Wright had a great
a good run. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I liked it. Dude, Winky Wright was dope.
Yeah.
But there are people that have used that style, but yeah, not like Mike Tyson, dude.
Winky Wright was the last boxer that I remember when boxing was like kind of like UFC was coming up and boxing was going down, at least in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Winky Wright was the last fighter where I was like, dude, that dude's something. I honest to God don't know what happened to him. Did he have a good run?
I don't remember. I used to stay up to date with it, but I have to go back and look at that story again.
He was like that good-looking dude, good-looking light-skinned bro. You know what I mean?
He was dope.
Yeah.
But like real quick, just back to Ryan Garcia real fast. Ryan Garcia, if he has the right game plan, should actually win that fight against Gervonta Davis. So here's the thing: if you know boxing or you know these fighters at all, for those of you that don't, I apologize. We nerd out on this shit.
Yeah.
But so Gervonta Davis, his thing is he's an excellent counter puncher. He's very patient. He's great with setting traps, and he doesn't waste any energy. He's not a volume punching guy. He's not going to bulldoze you and try to rush you down and beat you up with just work rate in general. He picks his shots well. He takes his time. He usually doesn't throw a lot of punches until the middle rounds. He waits for you to make a mistake, but he has that cannon of power. You know what I mean? So when he does hit you, you're either getting knocked out or you're very, very hurt. So he only needs to land a handful of punches to beat you. But oftentimes he's behind on points. Yeah. And he knocks the guys out. So if I was, and Ryan wants to knock him out, which I understand because he's also a knockout artist too. He has very, very respectable power, close to Gervonta's. Not quite the same, but respectable. So if he doesn't try to focus on getting the knockout and he just boxes him from the outside and he just is jab heavy, if he relies on his jab more than anything else and works his power punches in with it, he has a very, very high chance of winning that fight. If not on points, then by knockout or maybe late stoppage, but at the very least on points.
Has either suffered any big knockouts?
No. They're both undefeated.
This is going to be
Which is great.
Bad.
They're both undefeated and in their primes.
Yes.
Finally.
Dude, finally, dude.
Finally.
I don't got to watch 50-year-old Floyd doing
like 90-year-old Pacquiao.
Yes. Come on, boxing. Come on. You're here.
They do the ring walk with fucking walkers.
Dude, you know what, dude? Honestly, I always loved boxing. Always. It just became a cesspool for like corruption and stuff like that. But if they could bring it back and really put some class on it, come on,
just like
baby.
everything else in the world, it always gets ruined by some type of governing body. Mm-hmm. Governments are the bane of all existence, is the cancer of every type of society.
Once you make some type of money off of it and somebody gets about some type of
once it gets big, scheme, it's got to be small. They can't have the power. They have to be like, like errand boys for us.
Yeah.
Pave our roads.
But that's when it's at its best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Just like when you were watching football and they were in leather helmets, ending up in wheelchairs and stuff like that. I'm positive Super Bowl I was a whole lot more spectacular than Super Bowl 50. You know what I mean?
Just a vegetable after 2 games.